Imagine you're a soldier, deep in the jungle, cut off from the world. The year is 1945, and World War II has just ended. But for you, the war is far from over. This isn't a movie plot. This is the real-life story of Hiroo Onoda, a Japanese intelligence officer who fought a one-man war for nearly 30 years after everyone else went home. In December 1944, a young 22-year-old Lieutenant Onoda was sent to Lubang Island in the Philippines. His orders were clear: disrupt enemy operations, do not surrender, and do not take your own life. He was told, it may take 3 years, it may take 5, but whatever happens, we'll come back for you. He took these orders to heart, perhaps more seriously than anyone could have ever imagined. When the Allied forces took the island just a few months later in February 1945, Onoda and a small group of fellow soldiers retreated into the dense jungle. They found leaflets dropped from planes announcing that the war was over. They dismissed them as enemy propaganda, a trick to lure them out. For them, the war continued. They survived on bananas, coconuts, and occasionally livestock from nearby farms, which led to skirmishes with local police. They saw the world changing around them, the planes overhead, the clothes people wore, but interpreted everything through the lens of their ongoing mission. To them, these were all signs of a clever and persistent enemy. Years turned into decades. His companions dwindled. One surrendered in 1950, another was killed in a shootout with local police in 1954. His last remaining comrade, Kinshichi Kozuka, was killed in 1972, leaving Onoda completely alone. For 2 more years, he held his post, a ghost of a long-finished war. Back in Japan, Onoda had been declared legally dead, but his family never gave up hope. Search parties were sent, leaflets were dropped, even recordings of his family's voices were played over loudspeakers, all to no avail. Onoda believed they were all elaborate enemy ruse. The unbelievable standoff finally came to an end in 1974. Not because of a military operation, but because of a young Japanese explorer named Norio Suzuki. Suzuki's personal mission was, bizarrely, to find Lieutenant Onoda, a panda, and the abominable snowman, in that order. Incredibly, he succeeded with the first one. He traveled to Lubang, set up camp, and searched for the legendary soldier. One day he found him. Suzuki tried to tell Onoda the war was over, that Japan had changed, but Onoda was unwavering. He would not surrender unless he received a formal order from his commanding officer. He still had his uniform, his rifle, and his sword, all meticulously maintained. He was still a soldier of the Imperial Japanese Army. So, Suzuki returned to Japan with this incredible news. He managed to locate Onoda's former commanding officer, Major Yoshimi Toneguchi, who was now an elderly bookseller. Toneguchi flew to Lubang Island, walked into the jungle in his old uniform, and formally relieved Lieutenant Hiroo Onoda of his duties, nearly 30 years after the war had ended. Onoda emerged from the jungle, a man out of time, and finally laid down his arms. His return to Japan was a media sensation. He was a hero to some, a symbol of unwavering duty. To others, his story was a tragic reminder of the devastating, long-lasting consequences of war. Onoda himself struggled to adapt to modern Japan, a country he no longer recognized. He later moved to Brazil to run a cattle ranch, finding peace in a different kind of wilderness. Hiroo Onoda's story is more than just a historical curiosity. It's a powerful and complex tale about duty, belief, and the human capacity to endure the unimaginable. It forces us to ask, what is the line between dedication and delusion? And what does it truly mean for a war to be over? Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more incredible stories from history.